Last month, I just turned 28, and I know that makes me a senior citizen in the online entrepreneur space, but I was doing some reflecting on my decade-plus long entrepreneurial journey, thinking about my success, my failures, what I've done right, what I've done wrong, what I wish I would have done differently. And I really wanted to make this video breaking down the 6 things I wish that I knew when I was 18. And the last one is arguably the most important. So I highly recommend you guys stick around for the entire video, watch the whole thing. I think it's gonna be very valuable, whether you're thinking about starting, just started, or you've been on your own entrepreneurial journey for a while now. And these aren't just lessons I've learned through my own experience. These are from other people that I've observed, mentors, people worth 9 figures plus. I think that if you implement some of these things, it could reduce the amount of time it takes you to be successful and increase the success that you do get in certain areas I talk about in this video. So the first one is stick to one thing. And I know this sounds super simple, but if you're watching this video, I assume that you're interested in business, making money, entrepreneurship, and your YouTube algorithm is probably absolutely flooded with people posting about all these various ways that you can make money, whether it's agencies, whether it's AI automation, affiliate marketing, e-commerce, faceless YouTube channel, the list goes on and on and on and on. And honestly, all of these models are super solid, but you have to pick one of them. Now, when I was younger, I would do something, I would try a thing, and I would pursue it for 6 months or something like that. And sometimes I would find some success, other times I wouldn't find any success. But I would always feel the need to move on to the next thing, the next shiny, trendy opportunity that people were telling me was available. I would see all these videos of this person making so much money doing this, and then I would try it, and then I would see a video on someone doing something else and making so much money, and I would want to try that too. And my attention would be constantly getting pulled to various things. And I had one of my mentors who told me, dude, just stick to one thing, focus on it for 2, 3, 4 years. And the success that you get from that will far exceed any minor success that you may experience by doing something for 6 months or 9 months and then jumping to the next thing because you think you've either figured it out because you made a little bit of money from it, or you think that it doesn't work because you haven't made any money from it. So I would highly recommend that any person pick one thing, stick to it, do it for a long time, become an expert in it, understand the industry, learn the ins and outs, go through the mistakes. It's gonna make it so you can actually become successful in that field. And my last thing about this is one of my mentors, he started a video marketing agency for real estate, and he grew it to over an 8-figure per year revenue business. I mean, huge, working with thousands of agents across the West Coast. And then he developed his own in-house software for his agency because he understood the problems of running an agency that big at scale. And he created this software to solve those problems for himself in-house. And then once he built up this incredible track record of building a large real estate video agency business, he started selling coaching to other people across the country who ran real estate video agencies. And what did he do in this coaching to them? He sold them his software because he knew the problems that they would face on their journey and provided them an already made solution to those problems. So if you dive down one vertical for a long enough period of time, you're gonna uncover enough problems related to that one niche that allow you to expand into multiple different opportunities related to it. And that was my thing, is I wanted all these different challenges. I didn't want to get bored doing one thing. But the answer isn't to jump from thing to thing. The answer is to keep pursuing one thing, become an expert at it, learn it inside and out, and inevitably opportunities to create new businesses and expand in that niche will present themselves to you. The second thing is hire as fast as possible. Now, when you're starting a business, obviously you have to wear all the hats of the business. You have to do everything yourself from A to Z, from start to finish. That's just the reality of it. I completely understand. But as fast as you can, once you understand the process inside and out, how things ought to go, how things should be done, you should very quickly be putting people in positions to fulfill the daily operations of the business. It's the difference between working in the business and on the business. And as the founder, as the entrepreneur, your time, your energy should be spent on the higher level activities, such as growing the revenue of the business, growing the brand of the business, and making the processes of the fulfillment much more efficient once you understand how they work. And you can never do those things if you're stuck working in the business. As quickly as you can, you need to pull yourself back, work on higher level stuff. And it also allows you to learn and hone arguably the most important skill if you really want to be a successful business owner and really make a lot of money, which is management. Learning how to manage people, different personalities, different goals of your employees is going to be fundamental in learning how to put people in positions to succeed. Because if your employees can be successful, you as the business owner are going to be successful as well too. And if you can learn how to leverage 10, 20, 30 people's worth of time, you're ultimately going to be able to accomplish much more than if you're just doing everything yourself. And I know as an entrepreneur, the business is your baby, and you start to get this ego and this care for it. Like, nobody can do the task as well as I can. Nobody knows the business as well as I do. So therefore, I should be the one doing every single thing all the time. And that's not how successful businesses are built or operated. So that would be something that I would highly encourage any entrepreneur to do. Number 3, and I think this is really important, keep it simple. When you're starting a business, you should be focused on solving one problem and solving that one problem better than anybody else, and understanding the process that it takes to solve that one problem. Uncover all of the hidden things that go into the process of dealing with clients, getting the clients, and solving their particular need that they're hiring you for. A lot of people get distracted by all these softwares and AI tools and automations and integrations, and they think that they're necessary in order to be successful. But the truth is, until you uncover all of the problems of running the business in a simple way, adding all these various layers of complexity to your business isn't going to make it run more efficiently. It's going to make it run worse. And what I mean by that is, instead of actually solving the core issue that your business sets out to solve, you're going to find out that you're getting bogged down trying to learn these softwares and learn these processes and how these things are integrated and moving between each other. And you spend more time on that than actually giving the customer a quality customer experience. I can give you a great example. When I started my real estate wholesaling business probably 4 or 5 years ago, I already had a lot of money because I was successful from other entrepreneurial ventures. And so I looked at it and I was watching YouTube videos and I decided, well, I should just buy this really complicated, really in-depth CRM system, because on the surface, it made a lot of sense. It's going to have follow-up automations for my sellers. It's going to have lead flow. It's going to have all these tools, ringless voicemail, automatic calling, drip campaigns, email campaigns. Like, it's going to have all these things that in theory are going to make your business more successful. But the truth was, it combined like 7 or 8 different softwares all integrated with each other. And I was spending a ton of my time just learning out how these softwares worked individually, then trying to learn how they worked with each other. And then next thing I knew, I was spending all of my time just trying to understand the software and the CRM part, not the crux of the business, which is reaching out to off-market properties, trying to get properties at a discount, getting them under contract, and either buying them yourself or selling them to another investor. And then once I actually started getting leads going through this, I realized that everything that I thought that was going to theoretically happen within this process that I've been learning didn't actually happen the way that I thought it would. And so now I'm going back as leads are coming through my system trying to say, okay, why aren't my ringless voicemails working? Okay, why aren't my text message drip campaigns working? How come the automatic contracts aren't getting sent out in the way that I thought that they were? And next thing you know, you're spending so much time trying to just figure out your own internal process that you're not spending any time on the revenue generating activities, which are the most important when you're starting a business and when you're running a business. Now, once you have this process completely understood and you're kind of looking at each individual step of the business and saying, how can I make this particular part more efficient or flow better? Then implementing softwares and automations and integrations start to make sense on a very simple level, because you can start to make, you know how things work within the system, and you can very slowly start integrating things that make them more efficiently. You would be surprised how much you can accomplish with just a whiteboard, a notebook, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and a Gmail account. You don't need all of these fancy softwares to be successful. So keep it simple. The fourth thing is sell to people with money. Now, when you start a business, you can either pick two paths. You can sell to people who don't have any money, or you can sell to people who have a lot of money. And I would never suggest that you sell to people in the middle, because all that does is it makes you the most expensive alternative to people with no money, and it makes you the cheapest alternative to people who have a lot of money. And the people who have a lot of money and want to spend it on quality aren't going to choose the cheapest option. And the people who don't have a lot of money aren't going to buy from you either, because you're just too expensive and probably out of their budget. So it ends up isolating you from both segments, and you're never really able to find a footing with any particular customer base. Now, I always recommend selling to people with money for various reasons, but primarily there are two reasons why I think for the long run of your business, it's going to be more valuable. Number one is you're going to deal with better customers. People who have money to spend are likely going to want a high quality product or solution. And because they're high quality themselves, they understand that to get that, it's not going to be cheap. So they're willing to pay you what you're charging because they know that you're going to be providing them a significant amount of value, and that is what they want in the first place. They're going to be easier to deal with, they're going to be more patient, they're going to be less nitpicky, and they're going to give you the room and the space and the flexibility to operate, because they know that you are going to legitimately provide them a solid, good solution. People who don't have a lot of money, they're usually down to their last buck, and they want to pay you $100 but get $10,000 of value in return from it. So if you don't provide them and exceed expectations on a regular basis, they're going to be upset. They're going to be super nitpicky. They're always going to be contacting you and trying to micromanage and figure out what you're doing and why this isn't happening fast enough and why the results aren't good enough, because they have fewer resources to allocate. So those resources mean a whole lot more to them. The second reason is this: if you want to actually run a successful and profitable business that you can grow, you need margins, and offering the cheap alternative usually doesn't allow you the margins that are necessary to hire good people to help you, to spend money on advertising, to get more clients, to spend money on branding, to brand your business as an actual good, high quality solution. And the truth is, those kind of customers are usually just looking for the cheaper alternative. So it doesn't matter that you provide a better service than the next guy. If the next guy is cheaper, they're likely going to go with them. And then it's typically a race to the bottom in terms of prices. And you don't want to compete in that game. In the high quality game, people may not go to the most expensive option, but they're certainly looking for value. And if you provide value and your brand is established as a valuable brand, it's going to attract a lot of good paying customers who want the service that you provide. And you'll be able to spend that extra margin on better employees who can actually help you and provide a really good job, and advertising to actually go out there and get more clients, and better branding to establish yourself as a high quality solution to people's problems. It may be slower starting out picking the high quality option and choosing to sell to people with money, but in the long run, choosing this avenue is going to allow you to build a high quality, reputable business, but also a profitable business that has money for you as the owner left over at the end of the day. Number 5 is don't massively increase your lifestyle. And this is important for a variety of reasons. And I'm going to touch on this one probably a little bit more than the others, because I think this is so important, especially for the people who are coming up and wanting to get into entrepreneurship. And they see all the gurus showing off their Lambos and their Rolexes and their crazy houses and their crazy lifestyles. And they see that as the goal that they want to be able to emulate and live as soon as they start touching some money. But this can be an extreme hindrance for you in the long run, primarily because it increases your expenses drastically. And in business, you should know that just as quickly as things can go well, things can go bad as well. And you don't want to be hamstrung by all these expenses of a crazy car, a crazy house, and a crazy lifestyle that you've adapted yourself to, because there's nothing worse than once you start living a higher luxurious lifestyle, scaling it back because you have to, or else you're going to go broke. And you end up getting into this trap, if you're not careful, of essentially becoming a high income paycheck to paycheck person. And this happens a lot with not even entrepreneurs, but like doctors and engineers and surgeons and lawyers. A lot of them will fall into the same trap of, hey, I'm making all this money, so it's time to outwardly show the world that I'm successful so I can start getting the validation of other people. And that's usually where it stems from, is they want the validation from others that they're successful because they know it themselves. Not everybody's going to get a glimpse into your bank account, so they don't know that you're making all this money, but you do. And now you start wanting this respect, and you think that the way that you're going to get it is by going out and buying all these fancy things and showing off to the world. And it can really become a problem if you start increasing your expenses at a rate that matches your income. You want to be able to save as much money as possible so you can reinvest it in your business to help it keep growing. So you can invest it in other things like real estate. Now you have assets that are accumulating and real cash flow that's coming in. So when you do go through these bad months of business, you have alternative revenue sources that are helping to cushion that blow. And it happens a lot for a lot of entrepreneurs. There are bad months, there are bad years. And if you have these crazy expenses holding you down, it's going to stress you out and put you in a really bad position to where you might just lose everything that you've built because you've established such an expensive lifestyle too quickly. And I'm not saying don't elevate your lifestyle at all. Like, yeah, get a better car, get a better apartment or something like that. But people strive to get these dream items as quickly as possible, thinking that getting these dream things is the outcome that you're trying to achieve when you set out on your journey, instead of this process of becoming a really well-rounded man or woman who likes to build, who likes to grind, who's passionate about what they're creating, and they're passionate about the journey that they're on. And second reason why I say this is because if you delay the gratification of achieving your dreams, then you're much more likely to stay hungry and stay driven and stay motivated and passionate to get up early and put in those 12, 14-hour days, because you still feel like you're on the journey of getting to where you want to go. The more that you start to make yourself comfortable in I made it mindset, the more that you're going to start to tune back your drive and your tenacity and your hunger. And it's inadvertent for the most part. You don't even know that it's happening. Let's say you start out with this goal that you want to make $1 million a year. You're going to realize that the lifestyle that you thought you would need $1 million a year for, you can pretty much live the same thing making $30,000, $40,000 a month, which is essentially like a little less than half of your goal. And if you start seeing that, well, this is what I set out to achieve and I can live it right now, and I'm only at $30,000, $40,000 a month, what motivation do you have to continue to build and grind and pursue what you were doing? You start to lose a lot of that hunger, a lot of that drive, and it makes you more complacent and comfortable. And if you're not always pressing forward and growing and getting better, then you're going to be sinking and you're going to be falling and you're going to be getting worse. There is no staying the same. There is no complacency. There is no leveling off. You're either going up or you're going down. That's why I said it's okay to get a nicer car or it's okay to get a nicer house, but you don't want to get these dream items. This is my dream car. Don't go out and get the Lambo as soon as you make $30,000 a month, because you'll start to tell yourself you've done it. You've reached the end of the journey. You've accomplished what you set out to accomplish. You've got the dream car. You've reached your dream scenario. You're living in your dream house. You're traveling. You're eating at the nice restaurants. And so you start to get comfortable in that mindset, and you start limiting and you start becoming less motivated to take things to the next level, because everything that you wanted to achieve, you're able to achieve right now where you are. And the thing is, those things require a lot of money to maintain. And like I said, if you have a couple bad months or you have a bad year, then everything that you have is going to be taken away from you. And now you're going to have to regress to a lower lifestyle. It's going to be extremely demoralizing and unmotivating, because you've had the taste of the luxurious life and then it was taken away from you. So if you never even give yourself that taste in the first place, you just kind of play the long game, and you know at some point you're going to have more than enough money to do all these things for you. But if you focus on your goals and building and growing and achieving, you'll be able to get all these things in due time and make slight upgrades to your lifestyle incrementally, as opposed to now you're touching a lot of money for the first time and you think that the lifestyle increase has to be massive. You have to start living this millionaire lifestyle so everybody around you knows just how successful you are. And that leads to the third reason why it's so problematic, is because it attracts the wrong people and it makes you lose a certain personableness to yourself. And this isn't something that I can say that I did myself, But after meeting and knowing quite a few people who made a lot of money in Los Angeles over the past 4 or 5 years, I can tell you that this happens to a lot of them. People who are just genuine, cool, funny people, they start to lose that, and they start to make their entire personality about their success and the things that they have and the things that they can do and the things that they've achieved. And instead of being the person who is just a cool person because you were funny, you had a great personality, you were just a charismatic, caring person, now you start being the person who thinks that they're cool because they have a Lambo. You think you're cool because of the places that you go. You think you're cool because of the clothes that you wear. You think you're cool because of the house that you have. And you start to lean on these things and you make it all about who you are. And you lose touch with that personal, real, genuine side of yourself that made you this interesting, nice, cool, attractive person in the first place. And I'm going to talk directly to the men here for a second. A lot of guys want to make all this money and buy all this stuff so they can attract girls. And while there's truth to that you are going to attract a lot of girls if you pull up in a Lambo, the truth is the kind of girls that you're going to attract, I promise you, are not going to be the ones who you genuinely like and want to build a long-term relationship with. If you make what you offer to a woman all about the trips and the bags and the items and the dinners and the car and the house, then that's what they're going to expect from you because you made it about that. There's obviously going to be women out there who just want a man who has a bag because they want the nice lifestyle that he can provide. And obviously, as a man, it is our job to provide a nice lifestyle for our women. We want to provide nice things for them, be a breadwinner, make a lot of money, of course. But you want to give those gifts and those benefits exclusively to a woman who would like you even if you didn't have those things, who likes you because of what's in your heart and who you are and the character that you have and the principles that you have and the work ethic and the inspiration and the ambition that you have. You want to be able to reward a woman with those things, not make that just the base offering that you have to all women who come into your life. Because again, what happens when you have those bad months and now you have to scale back and you tell her, yeah, we can't go out to all these nice places really for a while. I can't get you this, we have to cut back. We have to scale back. Well, she's going to leave you because what you offered and what you made the entire relationship about is these material things that you can provide for her. And a woman like that whose respect and whose love can be bought isn't somebody that you want, because at the end of the day, no matter how much money you make, there's always going to be somebody who makes more. There's always going to be somebody with a deeper bag. And if you're going through a rough patch or maybe even a rough year and you lose everything and you have to build yourself back up over the next year or two, that person is going to leave you for somebody who can provide her that stuff right now because you made it all about that, and she made it clear that that's what she wants, and you made it clear that you're okay with her wanting that stuff because at the time you could provide that. So yeah, you're going to attract a lot of girls with the nice cars and the nice watch and stuff like that. But if you start making your outward personality strictly, I'm this rich guy, I do rich stuff, I have rich fun, then you're going to attract people who are only around for those things, for the material possessions, for the expensive stuff that you can do or that they can do at your expense. It ends up being extremely unsatisfying and unfulfilling because you feel at a certain point that you're never really going to find any true connection or fulfillment because you've made your personality all about the nice things that you have, and you end up forgetting how to be the kind of cool, just genuine human who can attract other people and make other people like them because you're just a nice person. And now that I'm at my older age of 28, and I want a family, I want a wife, I want kids and stuff like that, I realize how long life is, and I realize how much there is to live and how expensive life ends up becoming and can get, and the fun things that you want to do, not for the next year or the next 6 months, but for like the next 20, 30 years. And if you're so focused on living this extravagant lifestyle as soon as you touch any money, then you never actually put yourself in a position to save and invest and build true wealth that will last a lifetime. Number 6, the last thing that I wish I learned when I was 18 was build a personal brand. And I dabbled with this a few times when I was younger, but I never really took it seriously because I didn't really see the true value in it. But now in 2024, more than ever, it's important that you are putting yourself out there online in a productive way, and it can only help you, whether it's networking, getting invited to events, meeting business partners, getting clients, whatever, it doesn't matter. People nowadays, when they're interested in buying something, they're likely going to check YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. And if they see that you have a personal brand that looks high quality, they watch your content and they see that what you put out there is valuable, it's informative, you've established yourself as an expert or a master or somebody with real tangible skills and value, it builds a whole lot of trust with them, a lot more than just a Google search and going to your website can do. And so people are looking for personal brands behind the people that they're wanting to spend their money with these days. And you need to start today. Whether you haven't started yet and you're just thinking about it, you just started, or you've been on your journey for a little while now, you need to be making content starting today. And you don't need a whole bunch of fancy equipment to do it either. You'd be surprised at the capabilities of the phone in your pocket. You can just go and watch a YouTube video about how to best utilize the video settings on your iPhone, and you can get really high quality results from that. Just go buy a ring light off of Amazon with a little iPhone holder, put your iPhone on that, and just start recording your daily content. Whether it's just you in the grind, whether it's you in the hustle, whether it's you building something or working on something, or whether you're someone like me who's been doing this for a decade plus and you have real tangible experience, you've made millions of dollars, developed a lot of skills, and now you can establish yourself as an expert, as a master, be able to provide value and teach people stuff. That's going to build trust. That's going to allow you to build a community of people that you're helping, who are backing you, who want to see you win, who want to see you succeed. Inadvertently, it unlocks a few different monetization routes as well, because now you can build a paid community where you're offering even more. You're offering your best sauce, your best advice for a paid fee every single month. And if you build a community of people who follow you and like you, well, these people are going to pay to learn how to get where you are and learn the skills that you can teach them. And if you're building a YouTube channel, you're going to unlock ad revenue from that as well, brand opportunities. So it's all in all just extremely valuable, whatever way you cut it. There's no downside to it. And the more that time goes on and the people who are in charge of making decisions at companies or have built very successful companies are of the social media generation, they are going to be super accustomed to looking for people with valuable and respected and reputable brands online as the people that they hire to service their particular problem that they're having. So those are my 6 things that I wish I knew when I was 18 years old. If I would have implemented these things, I would be much further ahead and I would have scaled so much faster in my various businesses. I hope you guys got some value from this. I hope you guys can implement some of these things right away today and instantly see some positive changes in your life and in your business. Smash that like button if you did get some value from this video. Subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna be dropping more heat just like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.